to know as we build up towards election 2024. There are people who are worried that we talk about elections from day one to the end of the next election. But that's very necessary because elections produce our governments which produce the gata in your community. So it's very essential, Bernard, probably.
It's always good to be a son. I like that. Elections produce the government and the government produce the gata.
The gata. So, and so it's very necessary that you should be interested in who is going to be elected where and when.
Crunch time is approaching, I tell you. Today is the 20th, I think. And in a month and 6 days, MPP will be whittling down from 10 to 5. And it's leading to a lot of things. And
the whittling down to the 5 is really our main topic on the Situation Room today, because there is some petition that has forced a meeting at the NPP headquarters. We'll be telling you what meeting that is about and who else is on the campaign where. We're grateful that you took time to join us here on City TV for the Situation Room. My name is Umaru Sandamadu, and I'm doing this as always with Bernard Koku-Avle. Bernard, how's the week been?
It's an interesting week. Did an interview with Kofi Apreku. You won't call it a big interview in the context of he's not one of the favorites, but in terms of the fact that this is the third interview we've done, it's big. So I think the campaign has been going well. Very remarkable issues around campaign. Alan Chamartin was in Volta, says he's the one who will bring the Atiglini to the Volta region. He was in very interesting stuff.
He's still there.
Yes, Baumia's team had to issue a statement, 2 statements. Baumia initially said when he's attacked, don't attack back, because the campaign was getting a bit nasty, and he called his people to withdraw. Delegate did a story claiming he had a scoop of who was going to lead the campaign. It hasn't been confirmed by the team yet. Then Baumia's team had to issue a statement to debunk some online stories around campaign financing, which I'm sure we will deal with. So, and of course, the big story, the NAC is meeting, and 9 of them
have a petition.
Are saying we want the special delegates conference to be held at one venue. But Baumia's team say, let's maintain what happened in 2014. And I think this is where the main disagreement is.
So that's the bone of contention. But before, so Dr. Kofi Apreku, he was NEPAD minister. He's been involved in regional integration. All of, what's your impression of?
I feel like he's good to talk to. This job is about content. Talk to people. He's intelligent. He's smart. He understands the country. I don't know why he's running. I mean, he says he wants to. Okay, in the team of those running now, you can say he's the oldest, not in age. Kufuor was made the candidate for the first time after Edubuahin was for 92. So when Kufuor was being repeated for the 2001, so the Kufuor's second attempt, Akufo-Addo came second and Apreku came third.
In that contest?
Yes. So in his view, Kufuor has been president for 8 years. Akufo-Addo will be president for 8 years. It's
so he is a proper Edrum.
I'm telling you. So
I think he should sue Alan and collect the Edrum Isoka, because if you're going through the anyway, but we'll see how he does. We'll see how he does. So in the polls, though, he's not doing that well.
His point was that he is experienced. He's an economist. He's been there from the past and all of those things.
He has been at trade ministry. He's been anyway. We'll see how he does.
Minister for NEPAD.
Plenty
and the slangs too, we cannot mobilize the resources.
Yeah, the equivalent tomatoes is always exciting. I mean, I was pressing him the last time I interviewed him on the ECHO, the regional currency. It was during their time that they started this. So there was a big billboard at Akuse Junction. I still remember about
the ECHO is coming.
That's 100 years ago.
It doesn't come.
I don't think it's going to come. Anyway, so let's focus on today. The details are that 9 of the NPP flag bearer aspirants have penned a petition to the party saying that, listen, we do not want you to hold the mini congress or the superdelegate congress at scattered locations. Don't do it in regions. Do everything at one place. So if it has to be trade fair, come and do it there. Let everybody, the 900 people, let them converge on the trade fair or at the sports stadium or anywhere that you agree on. But we don't want to do it piece, soppy in other places. Break down the issues for us.
I think MPP has been changing a lot. So 2007, they go and they want to elect a flag bearer. There are 17 aspirants. There's a backlash about the opulence of the campaign and everything else. They decide that this is not a good spectacle So we will reduce, if our numbers are more than 10, we'll reduce and we'll break it down to 2. So even though they came up with that rule in 2009, they implemented it in 2014. And in 2014, you had a number of aspirants who were contesting. There were about 10 or so. Akufo-Addo won overwhelmingly, and I'll show you that soon. But in that particular contest, they held it across the country, and there were 2,286 special delegates.
Okay.
Later on, they said
2,800.
2,000, over 2,000.
So almost 3,000.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it was 2,200.
200. Okay.
2,200.
So, okay.
So they said the 2,200 is too many. So they came up with another sort of amendment to whittle it down to reduce the number to around now 1,000.
Okay.
So now this 1,000, this is the first time they'll have this 1,000 to vote. They are around 900 if you listen to Justin Kodia. So the original plan, as they did in 2014, was they would do it on a constituency basis. So you go or a regional basis.
So there's a polling station in, say, Tamale.
And then all the people there will go and vote. Now, in informal interactions with some of the candidates, they said that they didn't think that was the best idea because they felt that because the numbers were so small, some delegates in some constituencies will feel intimidated to vote for a certain candidate or whatever, because if, for example, there are only 30 slots in the Upper East region and all Upper East region votes for Afreku, then the party will know that, oh, so Upper East people, you don't like this candidate. So they feel like the best way to get people to confidently vote for what they believe in is to centralize it. Let's come to Accra. We are only 1,000 people. 1,000 people can vote in less than an hour. We don't also want to send ballot papers across the country. It's easier for people to move here than for ballot papers to go there. So they are saying, in the interest of fairness, let's do it here. But the rules are the rules. The precedent is that they voted across in the previous election. So 9 of the 10 want the thing to be centralized. The front runner and his team want the status quo to be maintained. So
essentially, the 9 are saying that if you do it at various places, there's going to be victimization and.
So they are talking about the fairness argument, the economy argument, the logistics argument.
So they're actually on my side. I've been arguing this issue about economy, the logistical challenges, and I even believe that, for me, I believe it was a waste of time to even do the super delegates. But they want the super delegate, said that they want it at a specific Congress. Yeah. Those who are against would say, this is what produced a candidate for us in 2014. And I think it's only fair that we should just look at the results for 2014.
Yes. So
that was the first time it was tested.
This is the fear they have. So, Akufo-Addo had gone in 2008. He won the first round of the national election and lost by a very narrow margin to Mills.
50,000.
Yes, below in 2008. So he then gets a second bite to the cherry in 2012. Where because of all the closeness, he loses again in the main election, and there's an election petition, which lasted for almost a year. So Mahamad's victory as a president, was contested by Akufo-Addo. All right. Now, in the 2014, after the election petition, for the 2016 election, Akufo-Addo was the front runner, but there were lots of people who wanted to go because they said, look, he's gone twice, he's lost, so we need a new face. All these guys thought they could beat him. Now, look at that, 598, 59. So 10%, everybody else is below. So I get the sense that this is the scenario whoever the 9 are fearing, that if this type of turnout, and if you look at the main election as well, once you get this kind of result, people are like, look, now Akufo-Addo is the favorite. But this is just 2,000 people. You get the point. So then they are saying the people who vote here are establishment people. So it's not a proper reflection.
But this number looks small. Because 598 plus the rest is not up to 1,000, is it?
You don't get me. If you add, no, I think there are some at the bottom.
Okay.
Yes, but if you add the figures, okay, so this is how much? 40. So 100, so almost 700, 750. Yes, there are some at the bottom. But the point is that this guy...
Okay, so this was a fairly contested election at various polling stations with agents.
And this is what happened.
With agents.
Yes.
Okay. This is my concern.
Yeah.
The national election in Ghana, we do it at 38,000 polling, or 33,000 polling stations. Yes. There are polling stations that have less than 500 people.
Yes.
You're going to have polling stations that would have, what? Since they are 900, they are going to be maybe 30, 25.
So we can come back to this. Sami Yafi is ready for you.
Okay.
He's at the Alisa Hotel where the next meeting is happening. He will give us insider information about who is there, what they are saying, and give us some more background. I can come back to this. So
great. We'll do that.
Let's go to Sami.
So Sami Wiafe is at the covering that for us, because like we said to you, there's a petition that has been sent by 9 out of 10 saying that do not hold the Congress at various stations, but rather one single place. Sami, is it NEC that is happening or National Council or both?
Good question.
Okay, thank you very much, Sanda. Before I come to your question, you were talking about the polling station for the regional election in terms of the special delegate, if it's going to happen. Per history, if it's actually anything to go by, in 2014, this was decentralized, where they held the polling station in a particular region. And so, for instance, Ashanti region will have only one polling station or one center where the vote will take place. So, in 2014, in the Ashanti region, for instance, it was the Great Hall at the KNUST. That was where they had the election of the special voting. And so, if that's what it's going to go by, this year, a dedicated venue will be allocated for the particular election in all 16 regions. Remember, in 2014, there were only 10 regions. Now there's going to be 16 regions. So only one center will be dedicated for the election of whoever will be in this particular special delegates congress. Now, to your question, so that meeting is going to be in two folds. The first one is a NEC meeting, which is the National Executive Committee meeting. The National Executive Committee meeting is going to look at two things. First of all, going to analyze and approve the report of the vetting committee that vetted all 10 aspirants. If you remember, there was a whole week where all 10 aspirants were vetted by this vetting committee chaired by Professor Michael Okwe. Now, the NEC is going to consider the report of this particular committee. Secondly, the party also opened a window for anybody who has a petition against any of the candidates to petition the party as far as this election is concerned. There was an appeals or a presidential petition committee that was also set up. The same committee will also present its report to the National Executive Committee at this particular meeting. After these two reports are considered by the NEC will then forward this report, these two reports, to the National Council, which is the highest decision-making body of the NPP per the party's constitution. So, after this particular report is forwarded to the National Council, then the final decision will be taken as far as this particular election is concerned. Now, when this is done, that is when the party or the NEC and the National Council will consider the petition sent by the 9 aspirants who are pushing for a centralized election as far as a special delegate election is concerned. This petition, we are told, was signed by 9 of the aspirants. And as I speak to you here, Bernard, all 9 aspirants are present with the exception of Mr. Alan Tremantin, who is not here as we speak. I've seen Kwame Japan. I've seen Adai Nimo. I've seen Dr. Kunebu Apreku. I have seen Kennedy Ohine Japan. I have seen the individual known as Kojo Opoku. I've seen all of them. Kojo Opoku is here.
Yeah.
The vice president is also here. The only person who is not here as we speak is Mr. Alan Shaman.
But there's Jama behind you.
He's heavily represented.
Sami, there's Jama behind you.
What is happening?
What is going on? Tell us.
Yes,
walk into the Jama.
The information we picked up is that.
Who is that?
So the information we picked up, what we picked up is that supporters of Alan Tremantin plan to picket at the premises of Alisa Hotel when this meeting is taking place. Now they are pushing for a centralized election.
Charlie.
The team are pushing for an a centralized election. So we had information that they are here to put pressure on the National Executive Committee and the National Council so that the petition of the 9 aspirants will be adopted by the National Council and National Executive, and then the election will be done centralized. Now the fear of these 9 aspirants is that if the election is not done on a centralized base, first of all, there's going to be intimidation. They argue that intimidation meaning that on the day of election, there's a fear that people who support a particular candidate, or let's say the candidate of Dr. Baumia, people who support Dr. Baumia or the establishment may intimidate people to vote, or the persons who are voting in these regions to support the candidature of Bawumia. Already, these candidates have alleged that the whole government machinery, CEOs, ministers, deputy ministers, and DCs have all been shipped in line to support the candidature of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. So the fear is that if they allow this, okay, then so we'll go in there.
They are inside. Okay.
The meeting is happening at the premise of Alisa, so we are inside, but then the picketing
is outside.
Taking place outside on the street of Alisa Hotel. So we are unable to bring you live pictures from there, but then we will do our best to bring you live pictures from there. So that is the situation here. The almost everybody who matters in the MPP is heavily represented at this meeting. The national chairman is here, the general secretary, the parliamentary representation is here, some ministers of state. I've seen Madam Citi'uation. I have seen the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwesian Wakwata, also present at this meeting. So this meeting, we are told, will run deep into the night because a final decision must be taken at this particular meeting. And then all the individuals, especially the 9 aspirants who are pushing for this particular centralized election, say that they will make sure that a final decision is taken tonight as far as the August 26th election is concerned.
And Sammy, who are the National Council members again? Because they are the ones who make the determination.
Hello, Ben, come again.
The National Council, who are those? Who are in the National Council of the party?
What is
the National Council is chaired by Honorable Hackman Owusu Ajiman. He is a former Minister of Foreign Affairs under the Kufuor regime, formerly the former board chair of Cocoa Board, and he now chairs the Council of the MPP, the national chairman. Mr. Freddie Blay, former national chairman of the MPP, is also a member of the National Council. I've seen him at this particular meeting. And other individuals who matter as far as the National Council is concerned are all here, including members of the National Executive made up of all 10 regional chairpersons who are here. And these national chairpersons, Bernard, in the petition, the 9 aspirants sent to the party have been accused of doing the bidding of a particular candidate. They accuse the regional chairpersons of going against or flouting the rules of the party as far as campaigning is concerned, and they say that some of them are even leading the campaign of Vice President Dr. Mahamudu.
Yeah, but Sammy, that's interesting.
Dr. Bawumia himself is present at this meeting.
Sammy, so
he himself is present at this meeting. Bernard.
So some of the people being accused are in the committee that's going to decide on the petition.
Definitely, and they are all present at this meeting.
Wow, it's going to be a long day for you. We'll come back to you, because I am sure you'll stay there till tomorrow. So get some warm clothes and get some food. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you before the show ends. Yes, we'll come back to you before the show ends. So
thank you, Sammy.
Just setting the scene for us.
So if you're just following or just joining us, Sammy, we are reporting from the Alisa Hotel, where the New Patriotic Party is having a very important meeting. 9 out of the 10 candidates who want to be flag bearer of the party have petitioned the party, saying that they want the election, as a super delegates election, to be centralized and not decentralized. And there are a lot of arguments in favor and against. When we come back, we'll do some more analysis. This is the Situation Room on Citi TV.
Get ready to witness a remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This is Ghana Exhibition 2023. Citi TV and Citi FM will allow you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. Join us at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 26th and the 27th of August 2023 at 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This is Ghana exhibition is powered by City TV and City FM and proudly sponsored by MTN Momo.
You're watching The Situation Room on City TV. My name is Omar Rusanda. I'm here with Bernard Avle. Before we went on a break, we spoke to Sami Biafe, our correspondent at the presidency, who's covered the New Patriotic Party for many years, telling us what's happening at that meeting currently ongoing at the Alisa Hotel, where the party is going to take a crucial decision ahead of the Superdelegates Congress. Will the Delegates Congress be decentralized or centralized? 9 candidates say they want it centralized. We are told the other candidate has not made a formal position yet, but we are told that he's in support of a decentralized election process, which is what used to be the status quo must remain. At the end of the day, what will be happening? We'll be talking to Dr. Baumia's camp, Alan Koreji-Chamantin's camp. But before then, let's look at who and who are making up the...
Just a quick clarification. So before MPP expanded the Electoral College to this almost 200,000 people, the delegates were about 2,200 who would then meet at one place to vote. All right. But then they felt that that was easy to manipulate. So let's expand the Electoral College. You have 33,000 polling stations, 5 polling station executives, multiply that, 170,000, big one. So then after the 2009 fiasco, they said, let's layer it. So now you have 1,000 people or thereabouts. So it could be 800, 900 to 1,000 people, which was what produced this result. So it wasn't 2,000, it was what produced this result. And then the makeup of the...
So before I go to the makeup, man, there's a problem I have, like I keep saying, that I think the Superdelegates Congress is unnecessary. Look at the results. Akufo-Addo does, this is what, 90%, I don't know. The top 5 are supposed to be chosen. Kofi Osei is part of the top 5, but he pulled 16 votes.
Which is why, that's why
the
9 are saying that this is not the right reflection of the will of the party.
So they think they were intimidated?
No, that's not what they're saying. The point I'm making is that the people at the top of the party may have a different view of who should lead them compared to the grassroots of the party. So if you say you are moving away from only 2,200 people to 200,000 people, why do you bring in a layer of 800 people to choose the 5? That's the point they are making. They are saying that it skews the mindset of the rest, because anybody who sees this will say that our leaders want Akufo-Addo, let's go with Akufo-Addo. So if you say you are going to expand the Electoral College to 200,000, let the 200,000 people vote and decide who they want. If the ballot box is too big, the ballot paper is too long, cut it into 2. So this was a needless step, but they've already bottled themselves into this. And the other point is that people keep trying to change the rules in the middle of the game. So now you're saying, let's change this. What else are you going to change next time? It's becoming messy. I think they should just pick one thing and stick with it.
By way of information, Kofi Osei withdrew from the race. Joe Gatti withdrew from the race. So at the end, it was Akufo-Addo, Alan, and Francis Adanimo who went for the full haul. And then Alan wins, Akufo-Addo wins, and then Alan and...
but that's the other problem, right? So when you have such a thing and people are discouraged by their numbers, they will withdraw and then the front runner wins. So I think what the NIA are trying to say is, we feel if this voting is done at a central place, we stand a better chance. If this is decentralized, we're not going to get much.
Let's look at the,
Well, so as you know, the National Council, so a couple of things. The people meeting today that Sami spoke about, here they are. President Kufuor is going to be there if he wants to be there.
National Council.
The president is a member, Dr. Bamia is a member, past national chairpersons, 3 of them will be there, past general secretaries will be there, regional reps will be there. So that's 69. These guys are also part of the Electoral College, but this is the National Council, so this is serving 2 things. Then the Special Electoral College, the NEC, this is the National Executive Council. All constituency chairmen, 275. All regional executives, 272. The National Executives, 20 because we have 16 regions. So 16 regions times about 5. And then national executives are 20, so 547. Add that to the 63, you are getting to around 600. Then there are other special...
I think there's more. Okay, so there's... Okay,
yes, so you have National Council of Elders is 30, MPs 137, past national officers is unknown, founding members joint registration 123, all card-carrying ministers 28, external branch reps 79, special wing reps 3 each, Nasara, youth, and women. So that's 9. So about 400 plus another 400 plus 60. So close to 900. So these are the people who will make the choice, after which the 200,000 will go and vote. Let
me go and speak to someone who is interested in what's happening currently. His Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He was municipal chief executive. He now works at the Jubilee House with a very long title. I can't even mention it. But he's focused on local government issues. But now we've been told he's appointed spokesperson of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign. We'll talk to him in a bit. That's Dennis Miracles Abaji. But Bernard, I want us to just quickly go back. If we just go back.
Yes.
What you are working with here.
So
this is okay.
Let's go to Dennis.
I'm told that Dennis is available.
Yes.
Dennis, can you hear me? Dennis, can you hear me?
Yeah, he's talking, but I think his mic is off. So.
Okay, but can you hear me? You can hear me. We'll come back.
No, Dennis is trying to talk.
All right.
He's sitting in front of the president.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Dennis, make sure your mic is on so we can hear you talk to us.
It's on, Bernard.
It's on? It's a bit low.
Technical, please work on this.
Yes.
Work on this.
We'll talk to him definitely.
Bernard.
So this is the 69.
I'm looking at this. These are the people who decide whether there should be expansion or not. Is it the group that will decide that?
So don't forget there are 2 meetings today.
Yes.
There's the NEC.
So this National Council that will decide whether decentralized or centralized. Is it not?
It's not very clear because Sami said there are 2 meetings happening concurrently.
The NEC meeting is to, the vetting process. They are
to ratify it.
To ratify it or otherwise. But these people will decide whether there should be decentralized.
We need to clarify because there's NEC and there's also National Executive Council, which funnily enough is also NEC.
NEC.
So
this is National Council.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's not NEC.
You see, the point is that NC, National Council, and then you have NEC.
NEC.
Where am I going? NEC, which is NEC.
Yes.
So and some of the NEC
in NAC
have been accused of campaigning for somebody.
So that's my concern. But if you look at even the NAC itself, just go back to the NAC page.
Now you're making NAC versus NEC.
NAC and NEC.
Okay.
If they have been accused, regional representatives have been accused of supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yeah.
That's the biggest chunk of the...
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem you have, right?
So if he says, do not decentralize, or do not centralize, I think he'll win.
We don't want to go that way.
Yeah.
Let's try and see if Dennis can hear us.
Dennis, can you hear me now?
Dennis, can you hear us? He can hear us, but...
Technical, can you give me some sound here, please?
We can't hear Dennis.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear him. I can hear Dennis.
Okay.
Dennis, I can hear you.
Dennis, confirm if you have been appointed spokesperson of the Dr. DMB.
Yes, I am.
You have been confirmed. You are the spokesperson of the campaign.
No, he didn't hear your question.
Myself, Gideon, and then Adoma Kubefi.
Okay.
And the Communications Directorate led by Nana Kubel.
Wonderful.
Ben, did you hear?
Congratulations.
I'm really
so there are 4 of you. There are 4 of you.
Yes.
There are 4 of you. Wonderful. So have you resigned from your position? Because
this one is party job. But why?
No, I'm just asking. I'm just clarifying. So you are still working in the because Dennis is doing a local government job, working with the minister, implementing important policies.
Party job is voluntary.
Oh, so this voluntary job?
Yes.
The vice president has been accused by the NDC MPs of leaving his job at the Jubilee House and is campaigning around, and 2/3 of your MPs have also followed him, and that's why they cannot form quorum in parliament. You have also left your local government work, and you have also followed the vice president. What do you say to that?
That is false. That is false. The vice president never has more than 1 MP following him at every venue. It is only when the vice president gets to a constituency where we have a certain member of parliament, then of course, as courtesy demands, you have the member of parliament present at the meeting
to welcome the vice president and their team.
Okay.
So that is completely false. You can check all the images and all the videos. We basically share all the videos and images online. There is nowhere you would find MPs following the vice president on the store. I have been with him throughout the tour in Greater Accra and Ashanti region. So
okay.
That's completely false. Again, I mean, multitasking is allowed. The best leaders are those who are able to multitask. I have my responsibility and my role at the office of the president as director responsible for local government and decentralization. But my skill set will really be tested as to how I'll be able to manage that and do it effectively, and at the same time do other things. I'm sure even at City, some of you are schooling and still doing.
No. We are not drawing government salary. Don't bring us inside this one. Don't draw. Let's move on to the substantive issue. What's happening at Alisa today? What's the official position of the DMB team?
I think Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia since morning has been explaining that immediately he's a candidate in the contest. He cedes all decision making around the conduct of the elections to the systems and structures in the party. You cannot be a player and a referee at the same time. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a member of National Council, but again, just as so many other contestants are members of National Council, they are candidates. And so in this particular contest of presidential primaries, it is the National Council that has a responsibility to make the decisions when it comes to the rules and regulations around it. And so Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has the view that the National Council's decision, whatever systems they put in place, whatever regulations they put in place, he is ready and willing to abide by them. He is not going to stampede the National Council into taking decisions based on what he believes or he feels he wants. So if they ask that the elections be held in the skies, and he believes that he would not disenfranchise any of the valid or qualified voters, he would be for it. The only time he will raise a concern and also probably be worried is when a particular voter will be disenfranchised based on a decision as to how.
So Dennis, let me get this straight. It's not as if Dr. Bawumia's team is saying you want a decentralized or centralized. You are basically saying whatever the national, the referee agrees, you are with them.
Oh yes. I mean, if National Council says we should vote decentralized, even at the unit committee level or the electoral area level, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is ready. Wow. If they say that we should all come together at one place and vote, he is ready. The decision is not for him.
But Miracle, have you done an analysis of the status quo to see whether that works for you or works against you? The petitioners are saying the status quo would work against them. What is your thinking?
Unfortunately, once you are going into a contest, and like the Electoral Commission, if the Electoral Commission says tomorrow they've created a polling station at where you are, so that those of you around City can vote, it will be very weird for any of the parties to go and tell the Electoral Commission that this place that you are putting a polling station, we don't want. Don't bring it there because it will not be good for us. It is the job of the institution or the organization putting together or conducting the elections to determine all of these rules and regulation. The only time a candidate should be concerned is if, as a result of the processes being put in place, a voter will be disenfranchised. Then you would be concerned. Otherwise, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is open to whatever decision the National Council will take. He has never advocated for either of them. He is advocating for the party allowing the rules, regulations, and systems to work as enshrined in our constitution.
But Dennis, let me push this further. That what you said is true. But what if the EC puts a ballot box in a place which will make it difficult for your supporters to go and vote logistically?
That is a disenfranchised bit. That is a disenfranchised bit that I raise. Then I'll raise a concern. But the question we should ask ourselves is, between the two options that are being proposed, there is a status quo. There is an existing system and procedure. We are not advocating for either of them, but what is wrong with the existing system that would disenfranchise anybody, like Bernard, you are rightly saying? Is there anybody that has said that if the existing system that was used in 2014, 2015 is used today, maybe a certain regional officer or a certain member of parliament would not be able to vote, for which reason we are advocating for another system to be introduced? I think that is how we should have the conversation. Otherwise, there are 10 candidates, Bernard. You can be rest assured that along the line, individual candidates will throw in different things that they believe.
But are you not concerned that 9 of them have taken a position and your candidate is not part? Does that not clearly draw a line between those who feel disadvantaged by the status quo and those who may be benefiting from it?
Which one are we benefiting from? Because we don't support either.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm saying that, you see, I'm not talking about your support. I'm talking about the 9 against 1 clearly shows a difference in how people perceive the process. That's what I'm saying.
On your own platform, you had 1 out of the 9 actually making a point that indeed they have meetings, they have conversations amongst themselves, and so even at some point, if they have to come together, they are very sure that the 8 of them would want to come together. So that is not surprising. But that does not necessarily mean that the position that they are positing or advocating is the best for the party. We should at least leave that way. You know, the National Council, as I've seen you analyzing, is a very large body of different stakeholders of this party. And I have no doubt that the National Council's decision will be more consultative, more engaging, more involving, cutting across all members of the party and this country than just 8 people who would be advocating for something that, like you really said, they believe whether it favors them or disfavors them. At this point, it's not about whether a decision favors you as a candidate or disfavors you. It is as whether a decision is the best for the party.
But then, did they say to you that, oh, we've drafted a petition, we want to send to the party to ask them to change something? Do you mind appending your signature? Did they approach you, or did they?
No, I mean, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's position doesn't support that petition.
Okay.
The petition is advocating for a centralized election. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's position is that let's allow the National Council and the party system to take a decision that is in the interest of the party, and I will follow.
How about the campaign itself? He'd have to suspend to come for the program today, or there's no campaigning happening in the hinterlands?
We actually ended the campaign this morning.
Which region?
As a matter of fact, the campaign was scheduled in Ashanti region to end yesterday. Until late yesterday, we realized that it was getting too dark and we couldn't hold the Tafo constituency. So this morning, he had to stay back, finish the Tafo constituency meeting before we all go back to.
And is the signal strong?
I can assure you, Manu. You know, these things, yourself, Bernard, you are too experienced to understand that immediately you are going into a contest and you have everybody else ganging up against one person. It tells you the strength that the person wields. This is not the first time we're experiencing this. You can look at all the internal elections we've had in our party. Even in the NDC Congress that they had recently, it was quite there. You always have one person that the party rallies around at every point in time. It's natural. It's a natural order.
Yeah.
When we went into Ashanti region, the vice president entered Ashanti region with his vision, his plans, his belief that he would be the best person to lead the party. As to whether the Ashanti region delegates were going to accept him or not, we didn't know. But I can assure you that in the past 11 or 12 days that we've spent in the Ashanti region, it's been one of an inspiration. It's been one of an acceptance and a motivation from the delegates and the party people in the Ashanti region that we are with you. We believe that this party has the best opportunity to win the next elections if you are leading us. And so we are only urging you not to lose steam, but garner energy from us from Ashanti region and go into the other regions. And that's why you realize that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is probably one of the few candidates that is going to every constituency, each of the 275 constituencies, to go and have an engagement with the people. Dennis,
thank you. We wish you, I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk again.
You made an initial point. I wanted to quickly make a point.
Which was what?
The fact that regional executives are supporting the candidate. Bernard, you know what? The regional executives are voters. They are voting. They are not in the electoral commission. In an election of this nature, it is only the body that is conducting the elections that we can say has to be neutral, just as we have with the Electoral Commission and all of that. Otherwise, if we are not part of the organization of the election, then you cannot be neutral.
No, I was making reference to the regional executives in relation to the petition, because I believe that they are part of the National Executive Committee.
The National Council.
Yes, so I thought that they...
Regional chairman.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't in relation to running the election. It was in relation to what Sami said about some of the candidates accusing regional chairman of taking sides, and the regional chairman are part of the body that would decide on whether the petition even has merit. So that was what I was saying, not about the conduct of the election itself.
I think I get your point. But the point is that in our party, we always raise petitions, and usually the people you are even fighting for are the ones to take the petition to. But we always get petitions to.
Okay. Then before I go, when are you going to Volta region? We want to see something. When are you going to Volta region?
Volta region should be somewhere second week, third week of August.
Okay. When you go to Volta region, we'll follow you. Thank you. That's Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He's a spokesperson of...
He's one of the four spokespersons.
One of the four spokespersons of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign team. Let's switch gear to another campaign team.
Yes, so we'll be talking now to the spokesperson for the Alan Trematin campaign, my former MP, Yabuabenya Samoa. He's joining us by telephone. Honorable YB, if you can hear me, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us in the Situation Room.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How is the campaign going?
Very well, my brother. Very, very well.
What are the Volta region people saying to Alan?
We are now in Oti.
Oh, Oti?
And basically, yes, we were done with Volta and we are in Oti. We'll be done with Oti by tomorrow.
What is the reception? What are they saying?
It's a time. It's a time. It's as simple as that. I don't know. You can feel it. It's organic. It swells from the ground up. You have to be there to feel it. It's not easily described. It's just, I've been in these games for a long time, and at the time, they will give it to it.
We have seen 9 of the candidates at the meeting in Alisa. We haven't seen Alan yet. Is he on his way, or he'll be in OT for today?
Unfortunately, he has to send his apology because he'll be wrapping up OT tomorrow. It would have been very difficult to come to Accra and return to OT given the time frame. So he sent his apologies by ably represented. He has confidence in the other aspirants.
YB, so what's the position of your campaign team on what's happening at Alisa? You are signatories to the petition. What is your fear or your worry?
It's a common position. It's not just our position. It's a common position of many more out of a lot of aspirants than negative. And that common position is that for convenience, to reduce costs and reduce logistical risk, and to ensure that there is complete transparency and openness, and for the image of the party itself, it would be better that this conference is centralized in one place, so that we can all go to one place. 900 people, mobilizing 900 people in one place is not the most difficult logistical challenge the party has ever faced. Only last June, July, we mobilized 6,000 people into Accra, both for the national leaders, a year ago. So it is not an impossible task for the party to bring 900 people together in one place. You reduce the stress on the East regional structure. You reduce the stress on the aspirant, trying to set up 16 ground monitoring and teams and going back and forth and all that.
But YB, what is broken about this system that you intend to fix?
What?
What's broken about this system, the status quo that you want to fix?
What's broken?
Yes. If they say that if it's not broken, don't fix it. What is wrong? What is wrong with the current system you are running? For which reason you think it should be changed?
It is not cast in stone. It's been done only once. We are learning. Best practice shows that it is better it's done in one place. The last time it was broken, but afterwards, some people suffered detriment. Some people just, voting. It is easier in the party of Olumu, if you do it, you spread it all over. We're very few people. You have 24 people voting a meeting. Clearly, you know the party and it can create prejudice.
But
So
you have
we are
agents
saying
at these stations, wouldn't you?
You have what?
You have agents, and it will be very transparent. There will be media.
Who wants to spread agents across 16 weeks? That's what I'm talking about, logistics challenges and difficulties. Why do that? When you can have it in one place and have one set of agents. You want to generate 68. It's not a punishment too. It's a friendly home affair. We are one family. The aspirants are not adversaries of the party. The aspirants are seeking to lead the party. So the party must make it as convenient and as simple as possible for the aspirants.
But
this is not even a main election.
Yeah.
This is a mere administrative process. And why complicate it? Why complicate an administrative process when you can do it very simply for everybody's convenience?
Yeah, YB, beyond
Yes.
beyond convenience, is there a fear of possible intimidation?
Intimidation is not a fear, it is real. The allegations, it's going on. Intimidation is real. And for the kind of group of people who are going to be members of the college, intimidation is their biggest challenge. It is a fact.
What?
It is real.
But these are high-ranking officials. I mean, this is like the creme de la creme of the party. So these are people who are either ministers, MPs. So it's a bit surprising to see or to hear that these kind of people can be intimidated in an internal election.
It's not everybody. There's significant numbers who are being intimidated. We are saying that put it together in one piece. Avoid that. Avoid the image of the party being damaged. Assuming without admitting that it's even rumors. Assuming without admitting that they are mere allegations. The fact that those rumors and allegations is not good enough for the image of the party. And for 9 out of 10 aspirants want centralized thing, and for the party to be adamant and say otherwise, I was saying they would be adamant. But assuming that is the case, as you are saying that it's not broken, so it shouldn't be saying. Then what it means is that you have rumors specific, you have allegations specific, and that will impact the party going forward.
YB, just a quick one. When we converge on the same ground, it is not as if intimidation cannot happen there, or, if you like, inducement. We have met at campaign grounds where candidates have complained that they can't find the delegates. They've been camped in a hotel room somewhere by person A, who would bring them only during the time of vote. In fact, that person will arrange their transport, give them food and all of that. So that can also happen at an election ground. You would see people sitting in groups. It happens there too. How can you prevent that then?
So I'll throw your own thing. These elite men cannot become themselves in their homes and do them. They are the creme de la creme. So I don't think it's a matter of campaign.
Okay. All right.
It's not a matter of campaign.
Good luck in the campaign.
The party's image is extremely important. This is a party that is for all of us. This is a party that is responsive. It has a leadership. This party is preparing for a major groundbreaking election in 2024, where we want to demonstrate to Ghana that continuity is the best option to any government in case you want full development. It's a major hurdle we want to cross. So you want the party itself in shape, fighting shape. And the only way of doing that is that you're working together. So it's important that the party listens. The party listens to the aspirants. One of them is going to lead the party. So it's important that the party listens to the aspirants and the party does things in a simple manner that makes everybody feel included. That makes everybody feel that they've been treated fairly and equitably. That's the way to set up fighting force after any election.
All right. Thank you, Yababia Samoa. We wish you and your candidate well. Thank you for talking to us. He is a former member of parliament for Adenta. He is a spokesperson for Alan Chemating. They are in the OT region. He was in the Volta region a couple of days prior to this. We understand we have somebody else joining us from the Kennedy campaign.
Canadian. We'll be doing that. I think they're here to raise him on the line. But let's just go through quickly.
I'm told he's actually on.
He's on the line now. Okay, that should be Kwame, the campaign manager of
Kennedy. Oh, it's not yet online. All right, wonderful.
Let's go to what we have now.
Yes, so these are the So
these are National Council members.
Yeah,
and
so
they
the
will
point
take the
is,
decision today.
So most of these people in this first set will obviously vote in Accra. All right. So President Kufuor, the current president, the vice president himself, past national chairpersons, I think there are 3. The past general secretaries, of which one is a candidate as well. Regional representatives. This is where it gets tricky because these guys may go and vote in the regions, and then all constituency chairmen. So obviously 275, 16 regions. So this will be on a regional basis. Regional executives, regional basis. National executives can decide to vote in Accra or wherever they want to vote. So that's the list.
Let me go on the other phone line, Bernard, and speak to Kwame Osu. He's a campaign manager of
Kennedy Ejepong. Kwame Owusu.
Kwame Osu, yes.
Kwame
campaign
Owusu.
manager, Kennedy
Ejepong, yes.
Why am I even mixing things up?
Yes.
Hello, sir. Chairman, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We are told your candidate is at the Alessa Hotel. What message is he sending to the National Council?
No, they are all there. They have been assembled there to come and put together what has been in the social media of the request that the election of the super delegates should be centralized. So they have been invited by the council, all of the aspirants. And so that is why he's there.
When you say they've been invited, did he sign a petition asking that the council takes a decision on the electoral process?
He's one of the members.
Is one of them. What's your concern with the current situation? Why did you ask the council to change what you currently have pertaining?
But to be honest with you, we don't have anything that is. It's only one time that the issue has come about. And what was done, you cannot say that it's, the precedent is only one. And so you cannot say that that is what should be done all the time. It's in different pieces, and every time demands different things that have to be done. We believe that if the election is held in one place, it is much easier in terms of logistics. Also, our constitution does not actually give a direction as to, in case there's supposed to be a runoff, if 2 people qualify and only the others get 0, what do you do? So we believe when we assemble as a collegiate, we should be able to be at one place and make an immediate quick decision and then vote again until we get the 5 people as required. Nothing that is being requested extraordinary. It will be cheaper, and we have done it. The last time we had 6,000, 7,000 people, 6,500 people come to one place, and we do not see this as a difficult request that most people have taken on. I see that some people are petitioning. It's a request that we think that should be done to make it easier for the party in terms of unity and also transparency. So you don't have to have somebody go to a region and bring a petition to hold us in ransom to go through the course that they were cheated. You are there, so that would be easier.
Okay. The economic part of the argument, understandable. But what about the transparency part? What do you mean when you say that having it at a single venue would be more transparent than if it's decentralized? Explain that.
Well, the aspirants will be agents even for themselves. They are there. And you know, election comes to petition, this one has done that, this has done that. And that is what I meant by transparency. Whether it is true or not, people attempt sometimes to come up with grievances that, oh, I was done this and they did this, they cheated me. And you see many of our African countries going to court about election malpractice. So that should not be something that surprises you, that why are you talking about that? That is what I mean by transparency. Okay. We don't want people to even create false grievances. So it will be easier if you did that.
Kwame, finally, how well is your candidate doing? What message, how is the message going? Where has it been in the past few days?
He is doing very, very, very well. He is doing very, very, very well. I think he's a grassroots person. And for whatever he says, he has done it before. He has demonstrated in the past that whatever that the party is requesting or needs a person who has always been there for them, He's a candidate. He appeals to the grassroots, the ordinary people, the investments he has. Everything. You know, his radio, TV stations is all committed to the party. He has done so much for the people, and he speaks for the people, the ordinary people. And so they are actually, for him, it's going very well. It's going well. We may not have the rank and file doing that, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for talking to us. We wish you well. We wish your candidate well. That was a spokesperson for Kennedy Ohene Japan. Is it Kwabena?
Kwame Owusu.
Kwame Owusu.
Interestingly, he was head at the Ghana Maritime Authority. He was the boss of the Ghana Maritime Authority.
Look, there's a lot of viewers between now and 26th of August. There's a lot that's going to happen. I feel the campaigns would engage in the media more as they finish their rounds. You just saw Baumia's team; they have appointed 4 spokespersons. So there's a lot of information going to be coming into the campaign. Situation is going to get more exciting. It's going to get more interesting.
But we have to make way now. We have to leave. We shall go so we can come back and come and deliver for you. Thank you for joining us on City TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu.
My name is Bernard Abdul. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.